Hello pilots and ground crew, welcome back to my channel. Well, I can't fly for a bit. I've hurt my wing. I've torn somewhat. So I'm having a completely relaxing day, and as I've had a few emails over the last week about the DJI FPV drone, I did mention actually in another video, I put them together. And I thought I'd go through them in case anybody else is having the same problems. Now, I've left a space there, right, so that I'll put a bit of flight footage up in the background of the DJI FPV drone. I wish they had an easier name for that. The DJI drone. Just so you can see a bit of flight footage while I'm waffling. On one of the questions though, I'm going to have to put my camera inside the goggles to show you, so that's not going to be great, as you all know. Alright then, I'll say one more thing. Occasionally you'll see me glance over there, alright, because I've got a monitor behind me and I've got some footnotes on there, because my arm's killing us and I can't concentrate very well, so I'll put some footnotes just to remind me certain things that I want to say. Right, how many questions have we got? We've got 6 questions, and at the end I've got something else to tell you, but just 6 questions, and 1 or 2 of them are quite simple actually. So we'll start off then. These are all emails I received. Okay, first email's from a lady called Jane, and she asked, which is a good one actually. I'm starting with this because it's a good one, because I hadn't seen any videos anybody else mentioning this. Alright, she's found a function in the settings tab, and basically she's asking me what does the image roll correction button do? Alright, now to find it, and that's what I'm going to glance over there, you go to your settings, your camera, scroll all the way down to advanced camera settings, right, and then you'll see it, right, image roll correction. Right, well, she asked what does it do. Well there's no, I was about to say basically, but no, forget the word basically. I'll tell you exactly what it does. It stabilises your drone a little bit more. It makes it a little bit more stable, right, for getting them really good slow close-ups, or if you're in a tight area, right, and it slows down and makes your stick movements a lot easier, makes the quad move a lot gentler. It really does slow everything down. Now you can use it in you can use it in normal mode, sports mode or manual mode, but don't. Right? Only ever have it turned on in normal mode, and really you're only going to be flying slow in normal mode anyway, because if you make a more aggressive movement, it's going to be real jerky and it's going to make your footage look horrible. So only use it, right, in normal mode. And basically that's what, well, that is what it does. It's like an extra stabilization tool. Okay, try it out. Right, it works really well. If you want a slow, steady pass over somewhere and a nice smooth turn at the end in normal mode to get like a panoramic view, if you've got that turned on, the image roll correction turned on, it will really help stabilize things out. But like I said, don't use it in sports mode and don't use it in manual mode, or it'll really knacker things up. Alright then, moving on, another email, this time from Mark. Right, should I buy them guard arms you see on the DJI drones? I've seen a lot of pilots using them. Can't read my own writing here. Basically, should I buy the guard arms? Alright, personally I'd say no. You know them guard, if I remember, I'll put a picture up right? But you know what I mean, the guard arms that you connect from front right to the back right, the front left to the back right, and it locks all 4 arms in, right? And the idea is if you have a crash, it makes it more stable and stuff like that. Now, I'm in a mindset, right, of saying no, definitely don't buy them, don't use them, don't buy them, don't use them. Think about it. If you flying along and you have a crash and the front arm hits a tree, right, you're going to spin out and you're going to hit the floor and probably the front arm will be bust. Now you've got to put the guard arms on, which connects the front right to the back right. Now if that front arm hits the tree, the vibration force is going to go from the front to the back, and there's a bloody good chance you could break both arms. So that's why I wouldn't use them personally. Right? Personally, that's why I wouldn't use them, because well, it's as I've just said. It's as I've just said, basically. Alright, it's going to send the impact, the force of the impact from the front, where it would have just span out and crashed, but it's going to send that impact all the way to the back arm as well, and it could end up breaking both arms. So I'd say no, do not use that at all. Right, moving on, email number 3. Alright, this one's from a bloke called Dave, and if you notice I'm not mentioning last names or out like that for, well, obvious reasons. Alright, good one this. I've actually got 2 emails from this. Alright, how do you set up the DJI VISTA how do you get the DJI VISTA to work in the V2 goggles that are set up for the DJI FPV drone? Because if you just plug in a VISTA, there's not there, because it's all set up. Because the VISTA is still working on, shall we say, the original settings, the V1 settings, the V1 goggle settings, whereas the V2 that comes with the DJI FPV drone is all different settings. Everything works differently. So if you're just plugging in a VISTA, it's not going to work. Alright, so how do you get the VISTA to work? And that's what Dave wants to know. How do you get the VISTA to actually work? Well, what you need to do is go into your goggles, obviously. Well, not obviously. Alright, go to your settings. Scroll all the way down and find the Abouts tab. Now in the Abouts tab you scroll all the way down and you're looking for, and this is where I'm going to look at the screen, because DJI Digital FPV System. Alright, so you go to your settings, go to your Abouts tab, scroll all the way down in the Abouts tab, and that's where you'll find DJI Digital FPV System. Settings. DJI, it says system there. DJI Digital FPV System. Alright, I wrote it out really big on my notes because I knew I'd forget that. And you click on it. Alright, and then you turn your goggles off and you power them back up again, and that swaps you into the original, shall we say, the V1 settings, and that puts you into the original DJI goggle settings. So everything will change. You're not on your DJI FPV drone anymore, you're on different settings now. You're in like the original DJI goggles, the V1s. And that's where you'd set up your VISTA and fly with your model on VISTA or air unit. It's the same as the air unit as well. And you do everything on there. Now, once you finish, say you have a few flights and you want to switch back to your DJI drone. In the new look that you're looking at, right, the original V1 look, you go to settings. This time you go to devices. And in the drop down menu of devices you will actually see DJI FPV drone. Click on that, alright, come out, power off, power back on again your goggles, and you're back in the original DJI FPV drone settings. Okay, so I think that's pretty clear. I'm not going to go over it again because that could get confusing. Just rewind and stuff, but it's just them 3 steps. Right, I will go over it again. I didn't want to recap, but I will go over it again. Right, you power on your goggles, right, because it is important. You power on your goggles, you go to your Abouts tab, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and that's where you'll see, and I'm going to look again, DJI Digital FPV System. Click on that. Right, power off your goggles, power on your goggles, and then you're in the original V1 settings, and that's where you'd set up your VISTA or your air unit. To get back to your DJI FPV drone, go into settings, go to devices this time, scroll down and you'll see DJI FPV drone. Click on that and then you're back to the original again, and you're off again. You may have to rebind your FPV drone, right, which is just press the button, that's simple. Right, I'm not going into that because there's thousands of videos out there about binding, but you may need to rebind your DJI FPV drone. Right, you may. Right, so hope that helps. And okay, moving on. Great name. Yeah, great name coming up now. I got one from a bloke called George. Great name. Right, how do you run the batteries down so they don't puff up? Right, I've charged some up, didn't get to fly, and I've got now to run the batteries down. Well, don't panic. Right, don't panic, George, don't panic. Right, they are not, right, and I've seen people get this wrong, I'm afraid, I'm sorry. They are not lithium polymer batteries. They're not like a normal lithium polymer that we put in our other quads, right? The lithium ion batteries, now I know we use them too, right, but the lithium ion batteries, so they're not going to puff up. Alright, so don't panic about that puffing up. Plus also, right, they're intelligent batteries. Aye, they've got a big IQ, probably bigger than mine. Anything above 6 is bigger than my IQ. Right, when you leave the battery for 3 days fully charged, or is it 4 days, whatever, you get the gist of what I'm saying anyhow. If you leave the battery 3 or 4 days fully charged, it will start to run itself down automatically. It'll run itself down to about 70, 70%, something like that. Enough so you can leave it a lot longer. Alright, I won't recommend leaving them for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's a safety feature. It's not 100% fixed, it's a safety feature. So you've got your battery, it's fully charged, you haven't been able to get out flying, and it might be a week before you can get out. Don't panic, your battery will run itself down after a few days. Don't keep pressing the button to check it, or it'll reset. So don't do that. Don't keep pressing the button on the battery to check if it's moved. Just leave it. Alright, just leave it. And after a few days it'll run itself down to about 60-70%, something like that. Alright, so it'll last even longer. So you're going to have plenty of time to be able to whack it in your model and get out and fly. Okay, so don't panic about the battery puffing up in that sense. Right, it's not gonna, because it's a lithium ion battery, them long ones. It's not a lithium polymer. Okay, so don't panic about that. Alright, I think no, there ain't, there's one more. Helen, sorry Helen, I forgot about Helen. Right, and oh, this is a good one. The start stop button. When do I bloody use it? Well, it is a bit weird that, because I'm sure a lot of people put the drone down, right, didn't bother reading the instructions right like that and pressed the start button, and now it happened. Right. What the start stop button does a few functions actually. It turns on the cruise control, it turns off the cruise control, you can cancel your return to home. That it does a lot of things, right? So let's go through a few of them for Helen, step by step. Right, start stop button for Helen. Okay then, right. If you're flying in manual mode, so you've been flying a while and you've got used to it and you want to fly in manual mode, to take off you can use your start stop button then. You double tap your start stop button and your propellers will start to spin. Double tap your start stop button and your propellers will stop spinning. That's in manual mode. However, if you're going to do that, make sure the transmitter, you have adjusted it so the throttle stick comes all the way down. Don't leave the throttle stick in the middle and press your start stop button, or there's a good chance, alright, your throttle stick needs to be adjusted first to come all the way down, then use your start stop button. Now I'm assuming if you're in the position of flying in fully manual mode, you'll already know that. I think Helen is mostly asking, it's there and it doesn't seem to do now. Well Helen, it does do a few things. And number one is, if you're in sports mode, you're flying along in sports mode, if you click the start stop button once, it'll stick you into like cruise control, and the more you increase your right stick, I'm assuming you're flying in mode 2 here, the more you increase your right stick, the faster your quad will go, and then you can let go. You can practically let go of your sticks then, and you're in cruise control. And all you need to do is move your left stick, left or right, to turn left or right, down to go down, up, forward to go up, up or down, left or right, and you'll stay at exactly the same speed. You can pull back on the right stick, right, to reduce the speed, but that's your cruise control, and when you want to come out of it you just tap that start stop button once more. And that's what the start stop button is for in sports mode. We've already covered in manual mode. You do not touch it in normal mode. And I think these, I don't want to get technical now, and I think that's it. That's it. So I hope that answers your question, Helen. Well, I know it did, because to be quite honest, I've already replied to these. Right, but there you go. Right, I did have a couple more little bits, which I'm just going to chuck in quick. Right, I was asked sticks for the transmitter. Can you get replacement sticks? Well, in my original video where I did my review, I said no, they're only for sale in China and stuff like that. Well, yes, you can get them now. Right, eBay's selling them, Amazon's selling them, they're all over the place. Right, I'll leave a link in the description if I remember, but if not, just type in DJI FPV drone transmitter sticks or something and you'll find them, because you can get them, like I said, Amazon, eBay, you can get them all over the place now. Right, I just thought I'd chuck that in because I've been asked once or twice. And something else I've been asked: can you use the transmitter with a DJI FPV drone with a VISTA or an air unit? Right, no. right? It's just for the DJI FPV drone, that transmitter, so if you love it, you're out of luck. You never know, in the future DJI might do an update, right? But so no, I just wanted to skip over them two quick little things at the end because I've been asked, and I know most of you probably already know that, but I just wanted to skip over it. Okay then, pilots and ground crew, I'm going to leave it there. If there's any more questions, either leave a comment or drop us an email, alright, like a lot of you seem to do. You can leave comments as well, I will answer them in the comments. But yeah, my email address, you can find it on my homepage, in the About tab. Scroll down, you know that, because I get quite a few emails, but most of them are sort of like yes or no's, if you know what I mean. Should I do this? No, never do that. Alright then, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to go take some more painkillers. That's a lie, I'm not going to take pain. Well, fucking hell, I'm not going to take painkillers. I'm going to take this bandage off and spray some of that, you know, that deep heat stuff, and then put the bandage back on again because this bloody thing's aching now. Okay then, hope you found this interesting. If you did, leave us a like, go on. I know I'll get at least one thumbs down on all my videos. I get a thumbs down. Somebody's following me, alright? And as soon as I click to see, I think, if it's not there, then, oh, you haven't watched it yet, hurry up and give me that thumbs down, because I'm getting so used to seeing it. It's great. It's on every one of my videos. It pops up a thumbs down straight away. And I think, there he is. There he is. He's left me his thumbs down. Alright. I must be living right there inside his head, because it's every single one of my videos, so somebody don't like me. Right then, I'll leave it there, and thanks for watching, and cheers.